Thank you for joining us.
Namaste.
So today we'll do a class that's around getting a good start, getting a good start for the day. So it will be a little bit shorter than some of them, but it's all about how can you sort of stretch through those joints, but then move into what you need to do for the day. So come into big toes together, knees wide. And it's great if you can, I mean, not all my shins can get onto the floor. Sometimes it's good to put something under your ankles. But we're just going to come into big toes together, knees wide, to just feel into the body how you're doing. Just check into your spine, check into your legs, pelvis. And then inhale, come forward. And you want to straighten those shins out. And you might want to put the hands a little further forward, and tuck the toes under into downward dog. Now, if it's too much to do a straight-legged dog, you can do a little bit of a walking dog. But again, check into your body. Notice how your hands, shoulders, core, legs are. Couple of breaths here just to check in. How are your hamstrings, back of the knees, shoulders? And then this time, as you bring the knees down, keep the toes tucked and bring the sit bones back to the heels. And here you can get a nice toe and foot stretch. I mean, you're opening the insteps. And again, just check into your body. How are my shoulders? And while we're here, we might as well do a little shoulder stretch. So bring the elbows together, hands together, forehead on the forearm. And then slowly walk the hands out, come back onto the knees. And you can kind of experiment with how far your hands out or how close they are in. But mostly I give generous space between the feet and the hands to come into a downward dog. Maybe here in the second downward dog, you want to shake your head, yes and no. See if you're holding any tension there. Maybe besides walking through the legs, you might do a little bit of an elbow bend to just notice. Maybe you need to stretch more in the sides. And then straighten the arms, press the hands, bend the knees, and then see if you can straighten the legs a little more, bringing the chest towards the floor. And then again, bring the knees down and slowly come into big toes together, knees wide. And then just check how you are. Are things starting to loosen up? And then again, bring the hands a little forward, tuck the toes, go into another downward dog. And this time, can you I've got my right leg back, bring your right leg into three-legged dog. It doesn't have to be very high, it can be quite low here. And then just bring it towards the abdomen. So you're not quite in a plank, but you're almost there. And then slowly bring that up. And then bring it down. And then the other side, come into three-legged dog. Like I said, it can be quite low. Mostly you're trying to bring it sort of parallel in line with the arms. And then bring the knee in. It's a little bit of an ab thing. And then bring that leg back to three-legged dog. Bring the foot down. And then again, have the toes tucked, come down, and bring the sit bones back to the heel. And have a couple of breaths here. Inhale, come up. Now, of course, if you can stay in downward dog and the shoulders don't bother you, you don't have to do the big toes together, knees wide, or the variation, but you can always stay here between those variations. So for the second variation, lift the right leg up. This time you're going to flex it in like it's going towards your upper arm. Then slowly straighten it back. Bring the leg down. Inhale the left leg up. Bring it out so it's like you're opening up the hip a little bit. Bring it back. Bring it down. And you can either go into big toes together, knees wide, or if you're feeling okay in the shoulders, you can stay in downward dog. So if you're in big toes together, knees wide, come up to downward dog. And then the next variation, three-legged dog, crossing it to the opposite elbow. So this is more of a twist, but you're still remaining in almost a plank. Then bringing it back, three-legged. And then bring the left leg in over to the opposite elbow, arm. And then bring it to three-legged. And either staying in downward dog or big toes together, knees wide. And you can always do the variation with the toes underneath if you like that feeling. Now we're going to come into bringing the right leg up to three-legged. As you bend it through, you bring it between your hands. Now really ground the front foot and the back foot and come up into warrior one or proud warrior or lunge or whatever. Anyway, it's got a lot of names. Anyway, you can have the hand palms forward. You can have the pinky side forward. If you can straighten the arms, you can bring them back together. Or you can bend the elbows and really bring the chest forward. So little variations in the arms. And then you can slowly bring the hands down to the foot. Bring that right leg up into three-legged dog. And then the left side, bringing the leg into three-legged dog, coming between your hands, finding that stability in the front foot and the back of the foot, bringing the arms up. Palms can be forward, pinkies can be forward, they can come together, or you can also add this variation, elbows bent, really lifting the chest, getting some arm action. And then bringing the hands down, bringing the leg up, and then staying in downward dog if you can, or going into big toes together. knees wide. So I just want to give you that option so that if it's too much on your shoulders, that will help. Now come back into downward dog if you're not there already. And then inhale the right leg up, bend the knee through between the hands, keeping the foot there again. Come up to the warrior one variation. Then see if you can interlock the hands behind, and the first part is just lifting where it can go behind you. And then you can lean forward in this, getting more stretch in the shoulders. And then release the hands down. Bring that right leg up into three-legged dog. Then the left leg up to three-legged. Bend through the hands. Come up into warrior one. And then if you can remember which grip you did on the last pose, do that. Change grips. So lift the arms up, getting a shoulder stretch. I didn't do this on the other side, but you can always kind of do a little rotation, get some movement in there. And then slowly lean forward. And then dropping the hands down. Bring the left foot up to three-legged and either staying in downward dog or big toes together, knees wide. And then slowly bring the right leg up. Oh, sorry, if you're in big toes together, knees wide, come up into downward dog. Lift the right leg up. Bring it through. Now, staying here, placing the opposite hand down, so that's the left hand, and slowly bring the right arm up for a twist. And bring that hand down. Bring the leg up and back into downward dog. And then inhale the left leg up, bringing it through your hands, placing the right hand on the floor. I mean, if that's a little challenging for you, you can always come onto the fingertips, or you can always hold onto the shin if that helps. And then bringing that top arm up. And bringing the hands down, bringing the left leg up, back to downward dog, and either big toes together, knees wide, or downward facing dog. Come back into downward dog. Inhale the right leg up, bending through to the front, and we'll do the opposite twist. So place the right hand down to the right foot, and then bring that left arm up. Now make sure that you're not, make sure that that hip is still forward. This might be easier than the last one, or it might be more challenging. Then bring the hands down. Bring the right leg up to three-legged, leg down, and then Left leg up. Whoops. Left leg up. Bending it between your hands. And this time it's the right hand, left hand on the inside of the left foot. Or it can be, yeah, out on the outside. Did I do it on the inside or the outside? See, I can't even remember. I think I did it on the inside. I can't remember. Anyway, twist up. Keeping the hips level. And then hands down. Left leg up. And bring the knees down and go into big toes together. Knees wide, couple of breaths here. And then just come into sitting, and we'll just do a couple of twists. So sitting on your sit bones, and you can rock side to side to really get them, or you can, use your hands to really find those sit bones and really sit on them. And then really engage those legs, toes up. If you have a hard time sitting like this, that's when you need cushion, block, or blanket. Otherwise, I'm flexible. If you need to practice this a little bit with your knees bent, just to try to get that length in the spine, then you can try to keep that length in the spine and then slowly straighten the legs. Again, if that doesn't work because of tightness, you can still soften them if you don't have something to sit on. Then bring that right shin or knee in, right? Right shin, but you're holding the right shin. So just hold that with your hands and really bring the abdominals to the thigh. Couple of breaths. Then take the opposite arm. So for me, it's the left arm. You might be doing mirror image. And slowly allow the body to sink into this twist. And then if you want to go further, you could take the right arm, you can bring it up, circle it around, put it behind you, put the left arm out, palm up, and then really squeeze the abdominals in here. And look over the shoulder if you can, but you can also keep your head neutral if you've got some neck issues. And then slowly unwind that leg. And then come back into Dandasana, staff pose. And then bend in your left leg, taking the hands, holding onto that shin. I had a nice little crack there. I'm sure we all have little click clicks that happen when we are doing these twists. And then taking that right arm around, in my case it's the right arm, you might be on the opposite side. And you can just start by looking in the direction that you're starting to twist. And it's really about trying to keep those shoulders in line where one is not higher, because it's often where people will bring that front shoulder higher. But we're trying to keep the shoulders in alignment here. And then the next layer or level is you can really circle that arm around. And of course, if you have some limitations, you can just, circle it in the way that works for you. But if you have full range, you can do a huge circle, hand behind you, elbow on that thigh, and then slowly press and really bring those abdominals around. And Then slowly unwind. Bring both legs to Dandasana. And then bring the feet together, but don't, it's not this position. So keeping the feet here. If you're able to, this is also where it's handy to have props. But if you're able to stack your hands on your feet, you can support your head here. If you need a pillow, you can put it there. And if you don't have anything, you can just stay here, get that rounded spine, and you can have one fist on the heels and one on your forehead so that you can soften the forehead. So that's how you can do it without props. I'm going to change my hands, because then you can practice with each hand to try to do that. So you're just trying to have a soft curve in the spine. And I always call this clam pose because top and bottom are similar, and I could have a clam right in here. Or a pearl, I guess it is. Those kind of clams. There's so many different kinds of clams. The other thing is too, you can bring the elbows out. I had one in and one out. Huh. And as you go deeper in the pose, you might be able to let go of the hands. Bring the head further down. And then slowly come up and find whatever you need for Shavasana. Or if you've got a chair, you can put the legs on the chair, or you can put the feet up the wall. So do whatever is best for you. And then whatever position you're in, begin to notice how you are now. Maybe you remember what you were feeling in the first few poses. Maybe you go and check in with those places in your body and notice what's happening there now. Because you can think of yoga practice as a way of hydrating the body and hydrating the joints. It's basically bringing fluid into the joints to really loosen them, to really have them activated, able to function. That fluidity helps to keep all the fluids in your body moving and flowing and working and lubricating your joints. It brings healing into tight or restricted areas. Eats the muscles. And then whatever part of your body is contact with the floor and the ground, can you begin to just feel how it's a reciprocal relationship, that as you let go into the earth, into the ground, you also feel the force that supports you. And then it's a back and forth process, and not just you collapsing into the floor. It's actually dynamic. And then see if you can soften your collarbone notches, back of the neck, base of the head. Scalp. Forehead widens and softens. Your temples are softening. Space between the eyebrows widens and softens. Your eyeballs rest into your eye socket. Your cheeks are softening. Jaw soften. See if you can let the root of your tongue soften. You can even become aware of that. And your chin is soft. And if you notice that there's a little bit of tension somewhere else in the body, you can just take an inhale or imagine the inhale going to that place. And on the exhale, it softens and spreads. And then slowly begin to reawaken your body, bringing a little movement to your hands, your feet, your toes, doing a little bit of stretch, reawakening. And then you can slowly roll to your side and come up to sitting. And I hope that this practice starts your day out well and you have energy for whatever you need to take on today. Namaste. thank you for watching and joining us. And namaste.